Hey, this is Well-Fed Games over from the Build Your Own Arcade Controls forum. I just want to do hopefully a quick video on the Tetris coffee table cocktail arcade that I just finished up. The parts from it come from a few different places. It's kind of a Frankenstein project. The hardware comes from an Atari Asteroids cocktail. That was pretty much water damaged to the point that it wasn't worth saving, but I was able to use the wood as a template. Now that kind of cocktail has a control panel on both sides, for one for each player. In this case, since it's a Tetris cocktail, I wanted to have both players sit on the same side. So the control panel is again from another water damaged cabinet from an old Atari Kangaroo. And then the wood is all new. I cut it and stained it myself. And the joysticks are Zippies set to 4-way, which is kind of like the Seimitsu LS32, only kind of the cheaper version of them. The buttons are Seimitsu's with just 30mm buttons with transparent tops, and I printed out, little labels to go inside. So basically I've got a 4-way joystick and an A and a B button for both players. And then I've got a start button, which is basically hacked into the first player start, and then a volume knob. So what this has inside of it, and let me open it up and show you here, is a Retro Duo, which is a Famiclone type system. It's got a slot for NES and SNES. You can kind of see it right there. That's where it sticks out. Basically, the entire cabinet is pretty much built around Tetris. So the version of Tetris I wanted to play the most was Tetris and Dr. Mario, which was released for the SNES. Just a great version of Tetris, great version of Dr. Mario. You can play them both on the same cartridge. So that's why I decided to put a Famiclone with a Retro Duo inside of it. Seemed like I have a good brain for the unit. Now I'll probably play some other games too, since it's a 4-way joystick, so we could do things like Kirby's Avalanche. And chances are Tetris Battle Gaiden, which is a Japanese game, obviously since it's all Japanese text there, will probably end up living in there quite a bit too. So I can switch the games out to a few other variations on 4-way puzzle games that came out in the 90s. So again, looking on the inside, it's got a 19-inch TV, which, as you can see, just barely fits. This size cocktail cabinet was meant to have a 13-inch monitor in it. And so I was pretty lucky to be able to fit it in the way I did. Now the bezel, actually, this black part right here that kind of surrounds the TV, kind of makes it look nice, this is actually from an Outrun cabinet. So again, lots of different parts I had laying around kind of came all into make this one cabinet. The glass was new. I bought it from a local glass shop. It was like $100. Again, all the hardware, which just came off that old Atari cocktail, had to repaint it all, but it was in pretty good shape. For sound, I go out of the Famiclone system, or out of the Retro Duo, into this little, I think La Pi is the brand, little amp, $20 off Amazon, and then it goes into, the sound goes from the game system into a volume control that's mounted underneath the control panel. I originally was going to have a reset button right here, but I've got a 6-year-old, and I thought maybe a button to reset the game might be a bad idea to have, right? So easily accessible. So I put a volume control in instead, and so you can control the volume on the unit. Speakers I put on the front, stereo sound because SNES was stereo, and then the back, it's kind of hard to see, but I've got a grill, a vent, which is again is from the top grill from an old Atari Kangaroo machine, and the cable, the power cable, comes out the bottom, and the button or the switch is the same switch that came with before. So let me turn it on real quick. So it boots up pretty fast. This version of Dr. Mario and Tetris is a great version for a cabinet because it kind of starts up automatically, and this nice little title screen actually has an attract mode sort of deal to it. And again, volume control. Let me do a quick one-handed play here. And of course, this version is great because it has an option to play mix match, which is you play some line clearing of Tetris, and then a round of Dr. Mario, and then a kind of an endless version of Tetris up to a time limit, and it's a competitive thing. I'll just set it really high so I die fast. So there you go. It's kind of neat. It's a kind of a more sedate arcade cabinet. There's not much art on the outside because I wanted it something that could sit in the living room, be a coffee table, and not stand out too much. I'm proud of the fact I was able to put a 19-inch monitor in it, into a cab that was kind of made for a smaller one, and that I was able to reuse so many old parts and kind of make a cabinet where two people could sit on one side, which is kind of unique for cocktails. There weren't many games like that. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks again to the forum members who helped me out in many ways in these kind of projects.